All right, so doing another podcast. Been getting really into these, so you might start seeing 2 a week from me pretty soon once I get into the flow of things. But hopefully you guys have been enjoying the consistent weekly episodes I've been dropping every single Sunday. But yeah, in this one, like I started actually writing things down, topics, and this topic in this episode we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome, the success from dropshipping, and talking about just success in general. So, like, I'm gonna start with dropshipping. When you find your first winning product after like months and months of testing, and years of just sort of reading books and sort of trying many things, and you do dropshipping and you finally get it to work, and you find that one winning product that brings in $300,000-$400,000 in revenue over a period of like 2 months. So that means you literally probably net, say, 40 grand. No, 20% of 20% of 20% of 400,000. That was just some like random strangers yelling, but 20% of 500 grand, that's, you literally made 100 grand over a period of 2 months. Like, when you make 100 grand in 2 months, you feel like God. Like, you feel like you're invincible. You start telling your mom that, they no longer have to work. You tell your dad, your parents that, don't worry, you're gonna pay all the bills now. And like, you basically just like think you just like look after everyone, because you literally made 100 grand in a period of 2 months. And what makes it worse is that you're reaffirmed by these sort of false things, such as, man, like I put in months and months of like really grinding it out. Like I put in years of just reading books and like failing again and again and again. And then, let me reposition this mic, it looks very awkward at the moment. Okay, that should be better. But yeah, you put in all this work, you're like, finally it all paid off. My 2 years of reading books, my 2 years of personal development, my 6 to 12 months worth of just grinding and testing and not giving up on dropshipping, it finally paid off, and I made 100 grand in 2 months. I made it. And then that product dies out. You go from making 10k, 20k a day in revenue and netting like 5 grand, 2 grand, 3 grand every single day, and just kept growing to like zero, nothing. All your money just disappears. And then over the next 2-3 months, you're testing products again and again and nothing's working. And then you're like, fuck, like I started going out. I started showing everyone the screenshots of my revenue. I started buying cool cars, phones, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. And now I'm not making any money. I'm not making 100 grand, 50 grand a month anymore. Like, what's happening? And you just get hit with imposter syndrome. And that's sort of what quick success does to you. And what the correct thing to do is, you should really not like indulge in success. You like can't really put yourself in a place where you think you're God and you think you're killing it, when you sort of get success. What I'm trying to say basically is that entrepreneurship is ups and downs, and a lot of people mistaken themselves and they take themselves at their highest moment and peak. But what you should be really valuing yourself is at your lows. Where are you at during your lows? That's who you are. That's how much money you deserve. And that's what most people aren't doing. And then when you're sort of getting quick success with dropshipping, you're putting yourself at I'm 100 grand in 2 months type of person. That means I make 500 grand a year, $500,000 every year. That's who I am, and I work so hard to get here. And that's where you really fuck yourself. Like, you start getting imposter syndrome, and you're getting in a really bad cycle where you start just sort of hating on yourself when you can't replicate that result. What you should be doing is putting yourself at a place of losing money every day, that sort of really hard testing phase of just sort of not making money, and see that, okay, on average, I make no money. On average, I lose $200 a day testing, and that's who I really am. So you should really measure yourself at your lowest point, and that's what most people aren't doing. And like, you have to remember that like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, that's nothing. Like, you have to put in time. If you really want to be successful, you need to put in the work and time. Like, you don't deserve 100 grand in 2 months after 2 years worth of reading personal development books. Like, you just haven't put enough work, and you don't deserve it. Like, someone that's making $500,000 a year, they've put in like a lot of work, like 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 years of their life just to get there. But then remember, success is like exponential. It might take you 20 years to get to your first million, but it'll take you 5 years to get to 10 million. And it'll take you another, say, 3 years to get you hit 100 million. Then it'll get you, take you like another, like, say, 1 year to go to like 200 million. It's just exponential. So like, if you're not succeeding right now, just think, how much time have you really invested into entrepreneurship? How long have you actually been an entrepreneur? Because that's really going to tell you if you really deserve your goals and what you're sort of reaching for. Because to really consistently make 500 grand a year dropshipping, you got to build a lot of systems. You have to build a whole team. You have to have like in-house sort of like, you literally have to hire. So what if someone's making $500,000 dropshipping? What they have is they literally have a house of like either Filipinos, people in Pakistan, people in these sort of third world countries. They have like an office, they have like 10 employees, they have like factories that they're working with, they have very good supplies. Like, to get to that level requires a lot of time and work. And that's sort of why you don't see people succeed in dropshipping long term. What they do is they find that sort of first winner, put in that sort of really tough 12 months of just testing, 2 years of just sort of doing entrepreneurship, reading personal development books. They put in that sort of 2 years, they find a winner, they make like 50 to 100 grand. Maybe they, say 20 grand goes to like, I don't know, VAs, but they're able to take home like 80 grand. They've done like 500K in revenue, and that 80 grand, what they do next is they reinvest that, and they sort of build a brand. And that's sort of what the next stage is. And what happens is, with the 80 grand, you build a brand and you're expecting to scale it to 1, 2, 3K days. But it's not that easy. It's tough. It's hard. And like, you're struggling, like you're getting one sale every 2 to 3 days. You're now working with a product that's not viral, and you're sort of learning. You're back to stage one, and you're like, fuck, I just want to go back to dropshipping. And you go back to dropshipping, you find that one winning product, you scale it up, make a lot of money, it crashes, and get into this bad, negative cycle. But it's normal. That's sort of part of the journey. Like, I have phases where a lot of money comes in, and then I just go through months and months of dry period. It's ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And you're only as good as your lowest point. And I can tell you now that over time, your lowest point just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. You just start getting very good to the point where you just can't not make money. That's how good you want to get. Let me tell you now that most people, everyone's lowest point is they can't stop spending money. People's lowest point is just losing money. You want to get to the point where at your lowest point, you're not losing any money whatsoever. Get to the point where at your lowest point, you're making $1 a day. Get to a point where the lowest point is making $50 a day. Because if your lowest point is making $50 a day no matter what, then I'm going to let you know that your highest point is making 10 grand in one day, 20 grand in one day, 30 grand in one day. That's sort of how it works. Like people who really kill it in dropshipping, no matter what, they're making money every single day. Like the dropshippers that are doing millions, like it's the 1% of the 1%. They literally have winners on rotation. There's always a winner that they're scaling, and no matter what, they're making money every single day. Whereas most dropshippers, as you know, they make a lot of money in one period, and on their lowest point, they're just losing money every day testing. But it's normal. That's the process. And you don't want to start feeling like a god the moment all that money comes in. But yeah, that's today's podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Basically, just wanted to share my experiences and share the traps of, when you get very cocky, when you start feeling like a god, when you start feeling like you could look after your whole family off one small period of an upswing, and then you get hit with imposter syndrome when you dip back into the sort of lows of your career, and a lot of people break. And you just have to keep pushing because it's only going to go back up. If you play it right, it's just going to keep going up, 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 and eventually your lowest point is losing $0 every day, and you're just positive your whole